What God cannot do does not exist. What a Roy cannot do does not exist. My name is Christy and I'm making this testimony from UK. Sometime early last year, Pastor Jerry made a declaration and said, women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, carry your babies.
Women in their 30s, women in their 40s, women in their 50s, women in their 60s, that desire to carry their babies at the sound of your amen. I am out. Take it right now.
And I keyed into that and I told God that I want a baby boy, and a Roy honored my words. I was confirmed pregnant on that same month. I called the hospital and informed them, and I was booked for my first pregnancy scan. I got to the hospital that day. After the scan, I was told my baby had bladder enlargement, and I was told to go home, that I would get a call to possibly reschedule another appointment. That evening, I got a call for another appointment at a different hospital. So I got to the hospital. The next day, there were 2 doctors and other nurses there. So after the scan, I was told that my baby had extreme bladder enlargement. They said what they suggest is possible termination of the pregnancy. And I was like, Jesus. I said no. And I asked the doctors what could be the reason for the bladder enlargement, and they were just saying plenty things that I wasn't really interested in, because the things they were saying wasn't going to change anything at that moment. So I decided not to listen to what they were saying. So I told him I am not consenting to terminating my baby. I pleaded with them to give me 1 week to come back and redo the scan. And he asked me why. I said I want to go and tell Roy the reports they said. And he was like, okay, is that the father of the baby? I said, no, that he's not the father of my baby and he's not my partner, but he's up there. And he said, so he's up there and how? I asked him, are you a Christian? He said no. I said, okay. The man that put this baby in my tummy, his name is Roy. I'm going to tell him what you guys said, and that I'm sure that Roy doesn't give half bread. He gives full bread and even give extra. So he looked at me and was looking all confused, like, I left the hospital. I came back to the altar. I told my husband, we kept praying. So every morning I will take my communion and I will feed my baby with communion. I will place the communion on my tummy. One morning within that week, Pastor Jerry made them a declaration and said, go back and check what they saw before they won't see again. Go back and check.
Go back and check in the hospital. What they saw before, they will not see it again.
I stood up. I said, yes, this is for me. What the doctor saw before, they won't see again. Then on the morning of the appointment, Pastor Jerry made another declaration and said, clean bill of health, clean bill of health.
I hear it again this morning. Clean bill of health.
Amen. Amen.
Clean bill of health.
Amen.
Clean bill of health.
Amen.
And I just said to myself, this is the perfect thing I need to hear. It's already settled. I got to the hospital that morning, not up to 5 minutes into the scan. The nurse that was conducting the scan was just looking all confused. Then she turned and looked at me and said, Christy, give me 2 seconds, I'll go grab a doctor. I said, fine, take your time. She popped out, came back again with the male doctor and another nurse. So the doctor took over and was doing it, and in my mind I was like, they were just doing it and they were just looking all confused and they were just talking to themselves. So the doctor now turned and looked at me and said, Christy, what happened? I said, how? He said, the bladder. I said, okay, yes, I know. And he was like, you know what? I said, I know that the bladder is normal now. So he said, how? I said, you don't ask me what happened, what did you do? I said, have you forgotten that I told you that I was going to tell Roy, the man that put this baby in my tummy, what you guys said? I remember telling you that he doesn't give half bread. So he just looked at me and smiled and said, I don't know what you did. I don't know how the Roy did it, but it's amazing. I said, yes. He now said they need to keep an eye on me, that I should come back in 2 weeks time. 2 weeks time, I got back again to the hospital. Pastor Jerry, blood that was the kidney. Then I started with the kidney is this, the kidney is that something was blocking where the kidney is, that they can't see through. This one, like the story was getting too long. So another 2 weeks again, I was asked to come to the hospital. I got back to the hospital. They were still saying the same thing. At a point, I got tired and I told them, I don't know why you people are looking for what is not there. This baby is perfect. There is nothing wrong with this baby. So the doctor was like, are you arguing? I said, I'm not that I'm arguing, but I know that the man that gave me this baby will not give me a baby that will have health issues. The man that gave me this baby will not give me a baby that will live with long-time health issues or will have complications. This baby is okay. So they were like, they are working with what they see in the scan. So at that point, I just said to myself, Christine, calm down. Since they are working with what they are seeing on the scan, you guys should continue working with what you are seeing on the scan. Let me keep working with the Roy. A week to the delivery date, I was told that because of the issues of the kidney, when I deliver my baby, it's possible that something will pop out on his navel. And I just looked at the doctor and said, the navel on your mama. Said, no way. So he said that they are telling me the possible thing that could happen. I just said, Nsobade, but I know my baby is coming out perfect, clean bill of health. Another thing is the baby may need help, assistance with passing urine because of his kidney. Sitting again. Kidney kandala kodako. Nsobade, ka first. So on the day of delivery, the devil wanted to raise his ugly head. Eroye urokute, boom, smashed his head, and I gave birth. Pastor Jerry, my baby came out, nothing missing, nothing broken. This baby was looking good, like spotless. They came, they took the baby and looked at the baby all around. They couldn't see anything. And they said, okay, fine. Okay, but the next thing is, the baby may have issues with passing urine, but they need to do 1 or 2 checks on him. Pastor Jerry, as they were saying this thing, boom, the baby started urinating. Pastor Jerry, you will say, how will you shout? At that moment, I could not shout. I didn't even know what to do. And I was like, Roy. And then I was like, Jesus. They took the baby, they did their general checks on him, and he was okay. Nothing missing, nothing broken. The doctor came back to me and asked me, he just said, congratulations, Christy. What's the name of the baby? I said, Chikemaram. He said, what does that mean? I said, God's perfect creation. And I am here to return all the glory to Elroy, the God that does wonders without numbers. Pastor Jerry, I joined the millions that will always say, may the oil on your head never run dry. We dey pray, they show.